Hey everybody, I am so excited to be back, and I've got my friend Tammy from the Lake of the Ozarks and Elizabeth Baker from Charleston, South Carolina, and super excited to see the two of you. So
Hi.
we, hi. So we were talking about most embarrassing moments in real estate, scariest moment or funniest moment. Elizabeth, with your dumpster fire, it looks like you are ready to go.
Oh God, you're gonna start with me. That is not. Start with Tammy. I can't even think. Tammy, do you have one ready?
Well, I don't think I could tell my most embarrassing, but one embarrassing moment I had is I was showing clients property, and I showed them the wrong house, and they fell in love with it. And then we found out it was about 200,000 over what we thought it was. So it was out of the price range. That was super embarrassing.
I had one recently, and it was such a rookie new agent move, and I was so embarrassed. But it was our average price point's like 400 and 450 here. So this was like a $1.2 million house. I'd met the people for the first time, showing them these beautiful, gorgeous luxury homes, waterfront homes. And I get back in the car, and they want to tour the neighborhood. They want to get out, walk the neighborhood, walk the trails of the neighborhood, and see the water. And we're doing all of this. And I get back in my car, and I'm like, see, anybody see my phone? And damn if I hadn't locked my phone in the house. So now I can't call the listing agent, and we use our phones to get into the lock
Hmm.
boxes. So I couldn't get into lockbox. I couldn't call. So I had to borrow my client's phone, Google myself to find my daughter, who is my admin's phone number, to call her to ask her to come and get me, say, get me back. Oh my God, it was terrible. I was so, but my clients thought it was a riot. And we ended up going having a glass of wine later over the water, and they thought it was funny, but I was very humiliated at that moment. Okay, Elizabeth, you always have good ones. Come on, girl, you got this.
For embarrassing, the only one, and this is super embarrassing for any of us that it's happened to, and it's probably happened to all of us that've been in the business for a little bit. But if you or your client run to use the bathroom and they did not warn you that the water was shut off,
Oh,
there is no other way to bond than over turds. Like
yeah.
you have to come up with a plan. So you're like trying to find. So on the most recent one was actually a listing that Bo and I were just staging, and he rushes in, he has to go to the bathroom, and I think thank goodness this time was just pee. But it's brand new construction. This seller never moved in, so it's perfect, pristine, and like you would think the water would be on, right, or that there would be something. So
Yeah.
we also don't have with us, because this was just like the first walkthrough where I didn't have the staging stuff with me, so I didn't have like a vase or a pot or anything. And so we are trying desperately to find a way to get water. And it's not like there's water in the kitchen. There's no water to put water in the tank so that it'll flush down. So we talked to the guy across the street and we got water from him. Okay. So now he already thinks we're a little bit freaking crazy. Then we come back and we're staging, and I had to leave the truck and we went out of town for Bo's 50th. And I said, hey, if anybody complains about this truck being in here, tell them people are staging, whatever. And so the neighbor across the street calls off the number on the truck and says, my dogs think that your face on the back of the truck is a real person, and they are like losing their actual shit. Like they're losing their minds. Can you move your truck? I'm like, I'll be back in town tomorrow. Yes. So get back in town. And then Bo and I, this never happens. I do not have staging mishaps. Brand new construction of all the houses. We're putting a 4-poster bed up, and we both leaned it against the wall, and it collapses and hits the wall. And it also hits Bo upside the head. So he's swelling up and bleeding. And I have to go to the same guy across the street. And so this is now third encounter with the neighbors who already think we're freaking insane, and say, I know we've already bottled water. I know we've talked about the next door guy's dogs. Can I get some ice? Because he doesn't have a fridge because it's new construction. So anyway, yes, a whole embarrassing encounter with all in one listing. It was great.
Okay, but so interestingly enough, the neighbor that you went to three different times for the water, the ice, did did he end up like a because a lot of times if something like that happens, I end up getting that person as a client too. So
Well,
did it? Mhm.
it's new construction, so they've all just bought, but they
Oh,
all definitely saw the staging truck with my big face on it and everything for an entire week sitting there, and the comings and goings. So you know the words on the street, you
yeah.
know, of who does what. So when those people decide to sell, hopefully they all took pictures of my truck, which is how, I mean, I'll get a call like a year later, like, you
Wow.
were staging in this neighborhood, and we took a picture. And I'm like, Yay.
That's like, it worked. That's awesome. So what are y'all seeing in the real estate market? Because it is, at least here, it's starting to shift a little bit. And I think we were a little bit slower than other parts of the country. It hasn't really dropped down that much, but we are seeing, I guess with the interest rates on the rise, we're starting to see that affect us a little bit. What are you ladies seeing?
Tammy, you go.
Okay. We are seeing a little bit of a slowdown also. I was able to quick grab some stats.
Yeah,
So
we don't have to talk about stats. Just what have you as an agent? You're the top agent there. What do you see?
it's, it's down maybe like 8%. It's not terrible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then are you finding that hesitation from your buyers or sellers? Are they mentioning the interest rates?
They are mentioning the interest rates a little bit, but we also don't have a lot of listings to choose from.
Yeah, that's how we are.
I'm finding that sellers don't want to list because they can't get the same amount of house that they have with today's interest rates. And so they're not in a hurry to list and change properties.
Right. Well, I will tell you. So I had mouth surgery done 2 weeks ago, which has been a hell of, just horrible. I've lost 18 pounds in 14 days. I haven't been able to talk. I had 21 stitches. They had to graft it from the roof of my mouth. Bottom line, all of this saying that I've been in a lot of pain. So I had nothing to do but just watch TV for 14 days, right? So 14 days of watching TV. So my last resort was selling Sunset. But I hate to tell you, that is what they're talking about too.
I love it.
It's getting a little bit too much like a Housewives of Beverly Hills or something more than real estate. But that's what they were talking about too, is the sellers. And the sellers, they also are concerned about the interest rates and no inventory. So there's nowhere really for them to buy, and they can't buy at the same price and with the interest rates. So it's causing this whirlwind effect where their inventory is still. What are you seeing, Elizabeth?
So when we were all at R4, I was slammed. I had so many closings that happened not only while I was at R4, but then I went directly to RPAC, and it was just closing. And I was like, yeah. And I remember telling Bo at the time, we've got all this going on, but I don't have anything happening after this all, like nothing. But, generally stuff just pops up and it just is what it is. I said, I'm planning for a slow. So I had all this closing, February, March, especially early March. I said, I'm planning for a slow lower half of March and April, right? All of April. And I predicted it correctly. And I said, Bo, for one time in my life, please, we all talk about doing this and none of us ever follow our own advice. Just tell me to just enjoy it, embrace it. We have a lot to do that month. Let's just embrace it and the work will come. So for once, in the back of my head, I'm not going to lie to you guys. Like I did have that little shoot, but all of a sudden, sure enough, end of April, going into May, it's been insane. Anything that hits the market in my market that's under 400, if it's decent, goes in 2 seconds. My listings, except for that new construction one that I told you kind of was bought, never moved into, it's kind of high priced. Everything's still going super, super fast because there's no inventory. The people asking me to sell mostly are people who are either still trying to cash out on all that good equity that's still there because there is no inventory and we're such a popular destination area. Or it's these people reaching out to me from out of state and they're like, okay, that lull happened, right? That December, January kind of lull. They're seeing that there's no inventory and that they can still recoup that money and they don't want to take the gamble. So they're doing it now. And so those are the people, but I'm getting inundated with buyers, y'all. And I'm always sellers. Last year was 97% sellers. Wow. And I am just left and right buyer, but they're all lower price point buyers.
Yeah. So, it's interesting because I did the same thing. I was crazy busy at R4, end of February, 1st March. Then we slowed down and I kind of tried not to go in panic mode. So slightly different because we have 10 agents on the team. So I'm always trying to make sure that I'm supplying enough for 10 families. So I was getting a little bit worried. May, holy cow. I think we had 32 closings in May. But our June is down. We still have a couple more weeks, obviously, but our June is considerably down. Not with prices. Prices are continuing to go up, and buyers are continuing to call, but it's just there's nothing to sell.
Yeah.
So what are y'all doing to try to get more listings? And I know, Elizabeth, you're getting more calls about buyers, but are you trying to procure more listings or?
Of course, but I do it, me and that's what I'm speaking on in Biloxi. We fly out tomorrow for that
Well,
regional.
I'm glad you're here today. Thank you.
Yes. I'm talking about doing the business without spending money and without buying leads and stuff. So just with my visibility and stuff, shame on me. I haven't wrapped my new truck, which is, I can't even call it new anymore. Time has flown this year. I bought it December 31st as a tax write-off, and I'm still not wrapped. And it's partially because Bo hasn't gotten licensed yet. And I'm like, do I wrap with him? Do I not? But in that time, I will tell you, I noticed the difference in how many texts I get, how many people say in the store when they see me, oh, that's you on the truck outside. So for me, it's the wrap vehicles, just staying involved in the community, people seeing me, staging and doing community events and stuff like that. That's how I get my listings.
So I was thinking about wrapping a vehicle, but I am not quite out there as much as you. I mean, I am out there, but I'm a little bit more reserved about being out there. Tammy, do you have a wrap vehicle?
I don't have a wrapped vehicle either. I'm an aggressive driver. I don't need to have my vehicle wrapped.
I'm an aggressive driver. I was actually getting ready to do a video about why I don't do videos from the car, because I was going to be like, oh, this would be me, like, But Tammy, it looks like you have an Elizabeth's earrings too. So thank you, Elizabeth.
Oh, actually, these are Alan Woods.
Oh, okay. Well, I have on yours, Elizabeth.
Yeah.
Alan. So Alan asked my permission to make those, and I was like, hell yeah, because I get a pair, and his are way better. But I will say, mine are lighter.
His are heavy.
Actually, kind of hurt my ears, so I only wear his if I'm going somewhere that like my plasticky ones don't look as good. But I got these, and I thought you guys would laugh so hard. So the Jimmy Buffett concert, poor guy is in the hospital. So we were supposed to go to that Saturday, and it's like Bo's favorite. So I got the shaker of, well, it's not shaker.
That's hilarious.
So I'm a salty bitch. So that's what these are.
We were thinking about going to that because, you're only 3 hours from me. So we were thinking about going to Jimmy Buffett because my Mark loves it. But I wasn't healed. I was still in pain. And so we do have a couple of people talking to us. So Annette, it is actually a dress. I just got it because I've lost 18 pounds in 14 days because no eating is a real friggin' thing. I could not eat anything, nothing. So it's from Boston Proper. Very cute. I love it too. So thank you. And of course, we've got Bob Little. Love you, Las Vegas, Robert. And good to see you. And then we've got Carol McCain saying, hey, ladies, say hey. So then tell me your advice. What are you telling your sellers and what are you telling your buyers to overcome like the no inventory or the interest rates? Like what advice are you giving your buyers and sellers?
You want to answer that one first, Tammy?
Sure. So for buyers, just tell them, keep calm. The market's not going to crash, trying to, the rates are going to come down and looking for different creative financing ways to help them out.
Right.
And then as far as sellers, we have properties that, if they're priced right, they come on the market and they're getting multiple offers still. But then there's others, just be reasonable about your price. It's still not,
That's
climbing every month. So be reasonable about your price. Don't get discouraged if it doesn't get multiple offers or if it doesn't fly off the shelf in the first weekend. And then also be open to incentivizing those buyers and providing those different, like rate buy downs and stuff like that to help the buyer. Especially, I personally have my home on the market, and I was out just looking at it on Zillow to see what it looked like, and I was like, holy cow, that's a huge payment each month, because my interest rate was way lower than what it is now. And so I called my favorite lender and I'm like, all right, give me some information. What do I need to provide to help like a buyer do a rate buy down or something like that, just so I could be more creative.
Thinking outside the box, because I think part of our job, right? I think like 90% of my job is to make things happen, to think outside of the box, to do the extra step for the sellers or the buyers. So I think that's an excellent suggestion. What about you, Elizabeth? Buyers and sellers.
So my buyers, I'm telling them, just be realistic in our market. If it's anything under 400,000 or 500,000, don't come in thinking you're coming in 20 grand low and stuff like that. Like it's almost comical. I listed one yesterday that's just a condo for 250. There's nothing in my market, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the first offer that comes in, they come in 10 grand low. And I'm like, I asked the agent, I'm like, did you explain to your people? Because we have full price coming in as well. So like it could have gotten over asking, but once she got a full price cash, she was like, let's just do this because it had no contingencies. It was easy. Let's avoid the multiple offer insanity, which in this case I agreed.
Yeah.
And I'm telling my buyers, look, unless something has been on the market for more than a month, you might get closing costs or you might get up to 10 grand off, but you're not going to get both. You're not going to get both.
Right.
Like, unless, if it shows really poorly, but my sellers, I make my listings shine. So if it's in a nice spot, whatever, it goes pretty freaking quickly. So I'm telling sellers, look, there's no inventory. So I don't care about rates. The people moving to Charleston, a lot of them have money. So the rates don't matter as much to those people. Thank goodness. We're a retiree town. These people, the taxes in New York are so ridiculous that they feel that we're cheap.
Yep.
So my sellers, I tell them, you're in a good spot now. Don't wait until everybody starts thrusting that inventory on right after school is out, because every year I say it, I tell them in April, and if they don't listen and we get to right when school comes out, inventory increases, and then you're in a worse position because now they have choices.
That's exactly right. I think that's excellent information. And then we've got Maureen, Hilton and Maureen. Hey, ladies.
Hi there.
Hey, Maureen. Thank you. And of course, we got some Mark Cruz. Love my man, Mark. I cannot wait to see you at Luxury, as well as you ladies. Then we've got Bob again. Yay. Hey again. And I love some Brenda. Hey, Brenda from Texas. Good seeing you.
It's my vet sister.
Yes. And then we've got Maureen again saying hi. So then, and then what advice are you giving the real estate agents? Because that is predominantly, this channel predominantly attracts real estate agents. What's the advice you're telling them? Because when you start seeing the shift in the market, agents are leaving the industry and getting discouraged. So what advice are you giving them?
Tammy, you might want to, you'd be better for this one because I don't have like a team of people or anything that I'm.
Okay.
Or look at what are you doing differently? Are you doing anything differently?
As far as
when the market kind of shifts a little bit, are you shifting what you're doing? Are you doing the same thing that's still working? Is there anything that you're doing differently?
For me personally, since I do it a little differently, I'm taking this time to look at my staging inventory, organize it, make sure those box trucks are parked in good spots where they're getting good visibility. And as that's happening, people are starting to message, more and stuff about selling. I'm just taking the time to regroup, and like I said, I'm getting hit by buyers left and right. And as soon as I get back from Biloxi, after this Memorial Day weekend, I have like 3 stagings coming up and I'm out of inventory. So I've got other issues going on, but average agent, I would just say, work on video, like the things that I wish to God I would have done when I was slow and a new agent that I didn't know how. I self-taught myself how to make these movies, right?
Yeah.
But be the agent, be the source on YouTube of the new communities in your area. You're the only one that's made a video and gone through the model house and made a nice little put together in iMovie or whatever you like to use. Don't make it this blah, blah, blah with you looking into the camera going on. Nobody wants to see that. Show them what's in the area, show them what's around. You can make these for free. And then you're the source. You put them on your Instagram, you put them on your YouTube and your Facebook. Become the source. While there is no business, make the business. And then people are going to come to you, get to know you from your videos, and use that wisely.
That's excellent, Elizabeth. I think that's an excellent piece of advice. And honestly, I'm trying to do more videos myself because I do think that the videos are, it's super important. People get to know you and know your personality and see what you have to offer. And you're right. What about you, Tammy?
Same. I hate myself on video. But I am trying to encourage my team. I know, I hate it. To do videos to showcase that we're the pros. So, Google frequently asked questions, real estate questions, and just do a short video with an answer to that question. Make sure that you have a good mentor. Always know your inventory. Our contracts change all the time. I can pretty much recite my contract, know your contracts, just know your stuff. Take the time now to read over those contracts while you're not, head on fire. And then always just remember to be nice to the other agents, because that's how you get things done.
I tell my team every single week, we have weekly team meetings every Wednesday, and I always say we have to respect, be kind, be thoughtful to every single person out there, because it does make it a lot easier when you have a buyer and you're in a multiple listing situation, and that they love you because you have shown them that respect and love and consideration. And it does go a very, very long way.
And they know that you know how to get the transaction done, because you know the contract, you know the ins and outs of everything. So it's going to be smooth when they choose you.
That's, I tell everybody, and especially if it's an agent that I don't know yet. And I've been in the business 17 years, so it's rare that there's somebody on the other end that I don't know. But in the event I don't, I'm always like, hey, make sure that your sellers, especially if it's a new agent, I'm always make sure your sellers know the personal agent statistics. Because a new agent around here, there's a 57% chance that it's going to terminate within the first 10 days. My personal termination rate is like less than 1%. Super important to know that if you're a seller, because I think the agent on the other end is a huge variable, because you can look at of course, the number is really important, and the bottom line is really important, and how much money down and the type of loan, very, very important. But if you have a crappy agent on the other side, not much money, it's not going to close anyway, no matter what those other variables are. But and Sandy, I was talking about you today. I think your ears must have been burning, but Hadi was in town, and I went out to eat lunch with Hadi and his wife Susan, and we were talking about how wonderful you are and how much we love you in the Charlotte area. So, but in summing up, so any last words that you want to say?
I would personally say for all agents, take this time, if you're a little slower, to review your social media, review your YouTube, review your Instagram, even if you hate it like me, like you hate it. I hate Instagram, but make sure your stuff is current. Make sure when people look at your Facebook, it says your freaking city and that you're with REMAX somewhere on that.
And a phone number. Do you know how many agents that I've tried to find, and I'll Google them. I can't find them on Google. I'll find their Facebook page. There's no phone number. And it will take me like an hour. And I'm like, how in the hell could you be a real estate agent when I personally cannot find you? Like,
all you can find is their office number. Are you like,
oh, and then answer your phone when it rings.
Yes.
Sometimes it's just a simple thing, right?
This is a good time to fix all that. It's never too late. If you're slow, fix it. Get in there and get it. And it's free to make your page a Google business, or what, how y'all can go on there and I forget how to do it, but I did it, and I show up when you Google Charleston real estate. I'm right there on the Google stuff now. So
that's right. And it's not really that hard. It takes just a little bit of time and a little bit of tweaking it. And if you're a new agent, you don't have anything else to do anyway, so you might as well have some online presence.
And what does it cost?
Yes.
Zero.
That's right. And then the videos also zero cost, and showing that. And I think knowing statistics, and it's interesting because since I've been doing these Monday lives, a lot of agents don't know their statistics. But when I have a new agent that joins the team, I'm like, there's statistics that you need to know, especially if you're a brand new agent, because you already feel intimidated as a new agent, right? So you need to be able to talk, walk the walk. And how can you do it if you don't know what the average price point is? You don't know the average days on the market. You don't know list price versus sales price ratio. You don't understand a contract. You can't be found online. Like, there's those simple things that you could do that is free. That does it does help you, and it does give you a little bit more of that confidence and that little leading edge. And again, it's about educating the public.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Well, it looks like, and then Brenda, let's see what Brenda says. Now I have I now have an admin that I'm like, anyway, I now pay people to get me the numbers, but they're super. I mean, it takes 5 minutes. It's just that sometimes it's hard for me to find those 5 minutes, which kind of makes me feel really lazy. I can't believe I just rerun that. Act like I didn't say that part. But
you could get a White Pages subscription and find numbers very, very easily.
See, there you go. Yeah. And in I don't know about y'all's MLS, but my MLS, it's like 2 clicks of a button, and it
right.
Yeah. So
yeah.
But Elizabeth, did you say you are going to luxury in New Orleans?
I am not. I am just to the point. I may have done it, but then when they asked me to speak at Biloxi this week, I just can't fit in one more thing. It's just me. Bo's not licensed yet, so he can still help me with staging, but he can't run out and show a buyer a property, and I can't. So it's kind of.
We do need to make money. At the end of the day, we all are here to make money. It's sort of important.
And I don't know about you guys, and we could go on about this for another hour, but R4 wore my ass out, slap out this year, and then going straight to RPAC. Yeah. I can't. I just physically, I tell people, like, just do what makes you comfortable. If it's too much for you, you don't have to go to everything and don't get FOMO. It's really okay. If you miss one thing, it's really going to be okay. So I just can't, I couldn't do one more.
I was on the fence about luxury, but I really enjoyed it last year. It was one of my favorite ones that I actually took notes and actually felt like I learned a lot from, and I met a lot of really good people. And so I'm going. So I'm super excited. And Tammy, you said you are going?
I am going, and this will be my first time going to that one. So,
yes. Are you going to Howard's dinner?
Yes. Yes. And I'm bringing my husband with me too. So.
Well, fabulous. I was trying to get my daughter to come. It's her 22nd birthday. And she also is the one that helps me on my Facebook and social media stuff. So I was like, it'd be really good for you to be there and meet the people and get to know them and, for referrals and everything else and networking. But she said, Mom, it's my 22nd birthday. And do you think I want to be there with you and a bunch of realtors getting drunk and talking? And she was like, I am sick and tired of hearing about real estate. But I was like, it's New Orleans. Who the hell is like my fun in New Orleans?
Well, I won't skip Elite Retreat for anything. And I know this is so unpopular if anybody up at headquarters heard it, but if I had to skip one, as much as you guys know, I'm a big R4 junkie. I would almost rather put my time into these other ones like luxury, like these smaller things, and skip R4 if I had to. And that might sound crazy, but I have justification for me because this was just so overwhelming this past year. I'd rather hit the agents that I know that I have more relationships with than all of the agents from all of the countries. You're giving out swag to people that you're never going to get,
we never going to see again, never talking. No. Listen, I 100% agree with you. This year, it was just so big and it was so many people. And I had taken a different tactic this year. And I was like, I'm going to set up breakfast and lunch and dinners and drinks. And I'm going to talk to all my friends. I'm going to spend all this time with all the people that I love and I miss and I never get to see. And what ended up happening is I overbooked myself, which is a self-inflicted problem, right? But as I'm sitting here having lunch or breakfast or a drink, I'm just thinking, oh my God, what time is it? What time's the next thing I have to go to? Yep. And then like the third day in, I completely crashed. I did not make it to the words banquet. I missed all the things that I actually wanted to do. I didn't do because I crashed and burned. And I just was like, I agree with you. I hated it.
It was awful. I rushed out of that
people.
And the way they did the awards, because there were too many people, was complete behind me, the dumpster fire. It was literally, and then I wanted to go to gay prom. So I'm stripping out. Bo and I are stripping out of that. And we had to get to the airport that night because we had to fly out. We needed to be at the airport really at 3. So it was just awful. We didn't get any sleep. And I told Bo, I said, RPAC is smaller. We'll continue to go to RPAC. We'll continue to go to these other things, but maybe, just maybe, sadly, R4 might not be for us in the future. I don't know.
I said the same thing. And I had gone with like 3 of my teammates and I had paid for the dinner. And luckily I did hear that the award dinner was a shit show and that it was like 7 hours long. And it was absolutely horrific. And then they didn't have a sitting together. I don't know. I didn't go to it, and I was glad I didn't go to it. I missed the gay prom. There were 3 events. Josh May had an event for YouTube, and I really wanted to go to that, and I really wanted to go to gay prom. I did not care at all about the awards dinner, but I missed all 3 of them anyway, because that was the day that I literally crashed and burned. I went to bed and didn't wake up till the next day. I mean, I was completely and 100% over Vegas. And then you're R4, 9,400 people or something crazy that were there.
You're not keeping your best self. You're not, because you're thinking about the next thing. And we literally ran through gay prom like in 10 minutes, said hi to everybody, did a video, pictures, hugs, out. Like we were in and out of that in 15 minutes. That's where I would have rather stay my whole night. It was so beautiful and so fun. And I went to Josh May's thing and that was cute. And we didn't really talk about YouTube, at least not when I was there. It was just snacks and fun. And we shot some pool in his room.
Yeah.
But that's the
But
stuff.
I love Josh. And that was one of the things I wanted to do and the people that I wanted to see and talk to and interact with, but I couldn't, you know.
I know. So we either have to figure out a way to do it our way in the future or I just might, like I said, I'd rather be going to luxury with you guys, honestly. I just can't do one more effing conference.
So what are you doing tomorrow? So I'm not familiar.
It's the regional, Tammy, what is it's your region, right?
It's, so we're the Mid-States region, Dennis Curtin's region. That's privately owned region.
Okay.
So, Dennis Curtin was the first regional owner, and it's, so there's like a northern section and a southern section. And so it's Missouri and Kansas, Arkansas, Oklahoma, Mississippi, Alabama. And so there's a regional conference that is in Biloxi. So I just can't make it because I'm, going to luxury in a couple of weeks and I couldn't see flying back and forth twice so close together. So, yeah.
It goes back to what Elizabeth says. I mean, at some point you just can't do things, but I agree with you. I like the smaller, more intimate groups. I love luxury. I love elite. I will never miss elite unless I don't make it. But so far I have made it. So I'm excited.
Yeah. And that's,
I like building those relationships in those smaller groups I get a little overwhelmed with the crowds.
You know what? I find a lot of anxiety. I get a lot of anxiety. And then I see a big group and I'm kind of scouting out for the one or two people that I know. And, but man, at R4, there were so many, it was like thousands and it was
awful. And you guys, I feel like and if I was anybody watching this or you guys, if I acted like a dick, I swear to God, I wasn't trying to be. We were so overwhelmed and trying to get to the next event. And like, I had a thing that I was doing for corporate, like recording this thing. And I had to rush to that. And people at Marketplace were trying to stop me and get pictures with me because I was all red, white, and blued up. Yeah. And I was like, almost being like that jerk, like, the famous people that are like, oh, don't take. And I was like, not trying to do that, but I had to get there on time because they were waiting on me. And I felt like a bad person the whole time because I was not spending I didn't spend quality time with one person, not even Bo.
So I did meet Bo. I told you I didn't meet Bo, but I did because Summer Baker's bachelorette party.
Yes.
So if we go next year, maybe that's what we should do because that was the most fun.
Fake one. Bo and I can fake one. I mean, we're not like, I don't think we could get our non-married party because I don't think.
But that was a great event and it was fun and everybody got to socialize and everybody got to hang out. It was, it was fun. Yes. Maybe that's what we'll do is maybe we should, the three of us, get a party bus and invite the people that we know and love.
Right. That was good. That was amazing.
Hey, Nathan. And I had to cancel Nathan last week because I am telling you, when I thought I was going to die, the gum work that I had done was super, super, super severe. So Nathan, thank you. I got him rescheduled the end of June. I'm sorry I had to push you back so far, but I can't wait to see you then. Okay, I'm going through a couple more that we have. Maureen, love seeing you. She's talking about Summer's bachelorette party.
She just liked me lap dancing on her.
Yes, she did. I think I have a video of that somewhere. But I'm going down to visit Summer the first week in June. Actually, I guess in a couple of weeks for her wedding party. So I'm super excited about that. And oh, look, the famous Elizabeth Baker. Everybody wants to meet Elizabeth. I am just sort of quickly going through these. So do y'all know when Elite sign up is?
No, we got the email.
No.
And it said when and where. And like everybody's saying with the concern of it being early October and right there outside of Naples, right? It's in Marco Island.
I bet they wait until luxury or right after luxury. That's just my thought. Yeah.
So then
one thing at a time.
Yeah. So how do people do it early? How do you sign up early when you don't know what you're signing up for?
Well, again, you see the dates, right? They've given the dates and they've given the location. So as long as the hotel will let you book the rooms with no penalty, if you cancel X amount of time, you just need to put it in your calendar to make sure to cancel those room dates if you are able to secure. But there's no point in going to any of that stuff, in my opinion. And I know people differ in opinion on this, but when you're going to these events to stay off site, especially if it's a big one like R4, that's where all the social is happening, is at the bars and stuff.
Yeah, and Elite's so much. It's so nice because it's such a small group, and that's where I originally met you, Tammy, was 2 years ago, and you were speaking and you did a great job. But did you ever get the picture I sent you? And I always send them to you,
Oh,
Elizabeth, with the things that said Elite
yes,
in between
yes,
here. So I
yes.
figured Elizabeth got like 12 from me. I was like, here's the whole envelope of all the pictures we took together. And yes, I agree with you. Hopefully no hurricanes.
Right.
Oh, that would not be good.
I know.
And then want to know about R Forward being late next year. But that there was a reason for that, right? And there's something happening in Vegas or
Changed hotels.
Yeah, I'm thankful. See, I might
Mhm.
almost want to go just for that. But like I said, if we go this time, I'm not just going to hand out. My swag was super expensive. I did the red, white, and blue socks, and like
Yeah, I got
one of
some.
them. But and again, I love my out of country agents, and I've done some referrals with some of my Canada people. But I'm going to be honest, when a whole group of Argentina comes to me and wants them, and I feel horrible to say no, but that's hundreds of dollars worth of socks that I just handed over, and I'm never going to get a referral. So I'm just going to be a little more careful about swag, and I'm not going to overbook myself. If I want to make sure I'm going to something with you guys or gay prom, I'm going to do those things, and I'm not going to be like when you have that short layover at the airport and you're like running and crazy, because it's just not our best selves. And
100%. Like I said, anytime I was meeting with people, I was looking at the clock to see when I was supposed to go to the next event, and I was running from event to event to event, and it was friggin' horrible.
yeah, you
And
come across
Maureen,
that.
I love Celebration. Have either one of you ever been to Celebration with CRS or
I have
RFC?
not.
Mm-mm.
It is
I have
a
not. I am a
it is
serious,
an
but no, I have
excellent.
not been.
It is really excellent. So I'm on the board for North Carolina, but it is an excellent, very educational, small event, kind of more like elite or luxury. And I guess this year it's in Vegas.
And who's going on the cruise, you guys? The November cruise.
I'm
I
not, because I'm trying to go visit Renee on her Orange Beach thing in October. Like you said, you can only do so much.
that's why I had to tell her no too. And I
Yeah.
would more than anything in the world, if I didn't have kids, or if I was to the point where I was a big team or something. But
Yeah.
honestly, I just can't. I just can't one more thing. But I had already committed to the cruise, and I felt that would be a break. And we don't have to network on a cruise. Like we can literally just sit back and just hang with our buddies, and you don't have to chase them. We're all at the same spot,
Yeah, that's right. That's a good point. And there are a lot of fun people going on that cruise.
Oh, I'm so looking forward to that, because I've only been on shitty cruises, honestly,
Yeah.
like Carnival, like whatever. So I'm looking so forward to that experience.
Yay.
I'm
So
trying to
it's
fit some
November,
family time in between all of this too. So,
Yeah. Well,
I have
we need to work. And my
a
daughter, I
scuba
don't know if
diving trip
what'd you
planned.
say to me?
I have a scuba diving trip planned in November to Roatan. So I'm
Oh,
excited about that. Yeah.
Awesome.
yeah, that is awesome. We're trying to get a house in Bald Head for over Thanksgiving, because my daughter, I'm getting ready to have my first grandchild, and she is due in August. So it'll be our first Thanksgiving as a big extended family. So we're trying to get a beachfront house on Bald Head to spend it. So yeah, it does look like I'm making the cruise, but I would love to go. Well, awesome, ladies. Y'all have a great evening, and thank you so much for your time. And I love each of you. Elizabeth, I need to call you. Somebody called me a couple of weeks ago and asked me if I had a Charleston agent. I'm just now remembering it. I need to check. I literally have not been able to talk for 14 days. So I'm gonna call you. I've got a referral coming your way.
I need that diet. I need
No,
the
you won't. When I tell you, at one point I went back to the doctor 7 days in, because my whole face, I'll have to send y'all the picture, but my left eye, because I had the whole bottoms done and 2 teeth on the top, but they also found a spot on my cheek that they had to lance. So the left side of my face was worse. So I had a black eye, the side of my nose, all around my mouth, all day. I mean, it was horrible. And on day 7, I went back, because it was a periodontist that did it. And I went back on day 7, and I was so hysterical. I mean, my body was shaking. I was crying so hard, and I couldn't even speak. And my Mark, who is my fiance, was like, he's like, I've been with her 10 years. Dude, I've never seen her like this. Like they put me on so much pain meds that, like, once the pain meds kicked in, like 4 hours later, I was like this. I was like in a catatonic state for like days. And I mean, to the point that I'd be like, oh, it's 9 a.m. It's 5 p.m. And everybody was like, what have you done today? I'm like, nothing. Did you sleep? No. Do you watch TV? No. I mean, it was But when I went back, the worst part too, the dentist, his hygienist person, she was like, when she pulled up my chart, she was like, "Oh, honey." She's like, "We recommended this in 2 procedures." She's like, "You told us not to. We've never done this extensive work at one time." Like I was, so you don't want that diet, because I'm sure once I drink water, I will gain it all right back, because I truly did not eat for 14 days. And like starvation is a real flipping thing. I was starving, but it was, so they cut away the gums on the roof of my mouth, and my kids looked at it for me, my kids that are in their 20s, but they said it looked like a ditch was dug in my mouth. And that's where they got the skin to put on my bottom, because my teeth were literally, so they had told me in 2013 I needed it done, and I postponed it. 2017, they told me I couldn't postpone it anymore. This time when I went back, they told me I had approximately 6 months before my teeth literally started falling out. So it was not optional.
Wow.
My advice to everybody is don't wait, because it was the waiting that made it so severe. And that's what, so my whole mouth was like, if I could, I would accumulate it to like having 100 open mouth ulcers. So salt, pepper, anything sweet, anything. I had mashed potatoes with 0 flavoring. I flavored it with butter and cheese, and just like a tablespoon would take me an hour to eat it.
Wow.
I'm telling you, starvation was a real thing.
Golly.
Mother's Day, my kids were like, "Hey, what do you want to do Mother's Day?" And I'm like, "Nothing." Like I
sit home and do nothing, rub my feet, right? I mean,
I didn't want to be touched. I didn't want to be seen. I didn't want the dog to jump on me. I just sat in my catatonic state.
God.
Wow.
Sorry. Well, at least you're
all right. I've 2 days, no pain pills, not even Advil. All my stitches, my last stitch fell out right before this, for our meeting. And so, yeah, I'm back. I'm good.
That's awesome.
Good.
So, Tammy, I will see you in a couple of weeks.
Yes.
Looking forward to it. And Elizabeth, I'm going to find out who that was, and I'm going to give you a call.
All right. And I'll see you guys at Elite, if nothing else.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Absolutely.
Bye.
Bye, guys.
Thank you
Love ya.
again. Yeah.